the street, a car almost run me down. I hit it on the fender, said you better slow it down. They jumped from the car and they shot me in the leg. They put me in the Cincinnati jail. Well, I went before the judge, he said 20,000 bond. Son, you are the bad guy, the good guy wears a gun. They put me in a cell with steel for my bed, my shoe for a pillow, and my legs still full of lead. We can't get a thing but a pain in the Cincinnati jail. No, no, no. Ain't it hell? The Cincinnati jail. Ain't it hell? The Cincinnati jail. Now if it wasn't for a friend, still be in Cincinnati jail. Going to Cincinnati, you better take a friend and watch out for the good guys that really do you in. They say they're here to help you, but Hitler said so too. Be careful what you're doing, it just might shoot you too. The lies swear curse, you live to tell the tale. They'll put you in the Cincinnati jail. Ain't it hell? Cincinnati jail. Ain't it hell? Cincinnati jail. Ain't it hell? Cincinnati jail.
Oh, that Colin better watch out. They don't give you nothing for the pain in the Cincinnati jail. You are correct, Johnny Switchblade. That is Lonnie Mac. One more Lonnie Mac on the way out, and I'll bet you can't guess what it is. DilDan gets taken by a... they keep doing that. DilDan gets taken by a dope fiend con man. The very odd thing that I find here in this Colin Campbell situation with Chili DeCastro, I'm not surprised that Chili and Colin had a falling out. I mean, Chili's announced several times over the last year and a half that he's a difficult person to work for. We've seen Chili's eccentricities and his personality quirks and his ability to go from 0 to raging in record speed. You know, this thing was bound to happen. You got Colin, who, if you had to ask Dan a week ago what Colin Campbell was like, Dan would have told you that Colin Campbell is a con man, a scam artist. He does, well, maybe that's where Dan learned it from. Dan reported on how Colin did a fund drive on Facebook for an animal shelter, animal rescue, and then absconded with the fucking funds. Didn't Dan do the same thing with a raffle covering up an illegal lottery? And all the donations made for that month were to go to 2 different animal shelters, the names of which we probably don't really know. And Dan's never produced a receipt showing that he's ever donated any money to a fucking charity. Maybe Dan learned that one from covering Colin Campbell and exposing Colin's wrongdoings. Seems to be a developing theme on how Dan learns to grift. Dan is a fucking grifter. He's a grifter. So the surprising thing to me in this whole thing is if you asked Dan 1 week ago about Colin Campbell, he would have told you that Colin was a con man, scam artist, drug addict. That's what Dan would have told you. And then he would have thrown the ultimate insult on top of it. He's friends with Chili DeCastro. Dan has a sideshow circus barker mentality. Dan's looking for a bearded fat lady. Dan's, well, he got that with Tina, so he might not really be looking for that anymore. Dan's looking for, any sideshow circus freakishness that he can peddle about as a spectacle. If Dan had his way, Dan would shop Colin Campbell as the 2023 version of Tina Slay. This poor, downtrodden individual who got taken advantage of by a Hollywood grift man. The greedy get taken by the sellers of greed. See, you don't. The whole con thing doesn't work on a rational, realistic mind that understands if it's too good to be true, it ain't true. Dan's peddling greed. Dan's looking for greedy people, greedy for recognition, greedy for money, greedy for whatever. Dan just needs greed. Dan can manipulate that. We'll hear an alarming confession by Blackett tonight. Alarming confession by Blackett tonight, where we'll see real insight into the mental workings of Blackett. It's amazing how much information these guys give up about their true core selves while they think they have this curtain of fucking weirdness in front of them. Colin Campbell is it's in the interview. I think he said that he's been on methadone for between 13 and 18 years, somewhere in that range. Let's say the lower end, 13 years. Still on it. that ain't recovering shit. That's a user who traded the substance he was abusing. That's still a user. But if you get in an argument with Chili DeCastro, suddenly none of that fucking matters anymore. Dan will bring you in, give you a big hug, probably press up against you in a weird fucking way that you wouldn't want a man to do. And, because he's a proud pervert and all that shit. And he'll just promise you what you're greedy for. That's what Dan does. He promises to give to people what they're greedy for, but he never actually comes through on the giving part. He just uses their greed to manipulate them. Carrot on a stick style. Ooh, some disgusting shit tonight from the Welsh News Network. I'm sure the Welsh News listeners found it very entertaining. I think it's kind of sad, actually. All right, let's get that video up. A little share screen. I do believe that they are still live. We shall see. Yeah, the side chat is moving. So it does look like they're still live right now. W124 Mercedes is with us with an NTFG and a hello to everyone. He hopes all are well. Zach and Butch, the friendly pitbull, have joined us again. Says hello at Coded Friend and everyone in the chat, NTFG. Alan Killian's here with a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. John Clark, despite excruciating pain and hanging in there like a champ, is with us. John Clark says, what a night. Stoned Vet really triggered Wrangler. I'd stream about chili. ID stream about chili. Scotto says NTFG. John Clark says NTFG. McAddix is with us with an NTFG. John Clark wants to know, has anyone heard about the news coming out of Hagerstown, Maryland? A judge was fatally shot in his driveway. That sucks. Only Frauds is with us. Says, what up, Coded? Ooh, wait, never mind. Was that while we were chatting on Discord? Only Fraud says NTFG. Scotto says, what up to Only Frauds? Only Fraud says, what up to Scotto? McAddix says, the hey, John. John says, hey, Eric. John Clark says, hey, McAddix. Logan Sandman's with us. Says, hey, everybody. John Clark says, Logan. Logan says, John. W124 Mercedes says, hello at Logan Sandman. Logan Sandman says, at John. I expected to see at Tom Selleck's mustache. Wrangler cracked a joke about Josh Stoned Vet having a taped on Tom Selleck mustache. Josh's mustache doesn't look shit like Tom Selleck's. Witch of Heart has closer to a Tom Selleck mustache than Josh does. John Clark says, laugh my ass off. W124 Mercedes says, hey to Scott. McAddix says, this better be good. I was watching the snooze. Fuck the snooze. Johnny Switchblade said, Lonnie Mack. That is Lonnie Mack, Cincinnati jail. Misty-Eyed Girl says, hi to everyone. Ooh, Misty-Eyed Girl, there was a little chatter about you in... I don't know. I was on a Discord server. I don't know which one it was, but people were talking about how you seem to be all over the place. I'm glad. I'm happy you're listening all around. Logan Sandman said, I tried to get through Colin's 1 hour and 15-minute video yesterday. It was just him and Chili texting. No kissing, Logan? Is that what disappointed you? Logan says, hey to Misty. John Clark says, wow. McAddix says, he said he was on pain pills. Do they use methadone for pain pills? Yeah, he claimed it was a doctor prescribed oxy thing, and you know his addiction is the doctor's fault. Wow, we hear that fucking story a lot. Those bad doctors. John Clark said, I pissed myself today testifying before the grand jury. LOL. Bro, I'm so happy that you have such a good fucking sense of humor about that shit. Wow. I would be in a fucking panic, dude. I would definitely be in a panic. You're a fucking good man, dude. Just press through it, dude. You'll make it to the other side. I have fucking faith. Linda Borham says, hey, Coded. Linda Borham says, hey, everybody. Misty-eyed girl says, I am all over the place. Then our suspicions have been confirmed. Like I said, I'm happy to hear it. Zach and Butch, the friendly pit bull, says, at codedfriend.001, I seen Colin on Demon's live stream earlier. Yeah, the Welsh News Network was pretty much a fucking back-to-back carbon fucking copy of it. Boy, that Dan, he's a vulture that sure knows how to circle dead meat on the highway. All right, so we're going to start it from the end, and we're going to hear the summation right after Colin's laptop battery goes dead after he's been parked outside an establishment, not purchasing any of their product or using their services, but basically stealing their Wi-Fi to do an interview with fucking DilDan. DilDan, you fucking douche. You couldn't even fucking cash app the dude a little bit of money so he could sit indoors in a fucking internet cafe somewhere. Jesus Christ, you cheap motherfucker. Wow. You ripped off your fucking listeners for 10 grand in the last 6 months. You can't throw the man a fucking bone so he could eat a fucking decent lunch and fucking sit indoors in an internet cafe. You're really a shitbag, Dan. You just fucking use people. It's disgusting. It's literally disgusting.
I would absolutely talk to them.
And thank you, Benjamin, for the $2 Australian. All the best, Colin. It will get better from here.
Hey, Colin, at least look at it this way. You're not going to have another day where you have to talk for 5 hours about chili on live streams.
You know why that is? Because Dan has been unsuccessful in shopping you out. So congratulations, dude. You won't have to do this again. You've been used. Bye-bye. What a fucking asshole Dan is. Oh my God. You're such a dick. This is the point where Colin's fucking camera freezes up because his battery's going into shutdown mode because, he's been sitting in his car on a laptop for an hour and 40 minutes ripping off some fucking business's Wi-Fi. Douche.
You can focus on what you're doing and how you want to move forward now.
I think you froze again.
I think so.
I mean, hats off the guy. What he's done for the last 24 hours takes some doing faced with what chili is. Hats off to Colin. And if you're hearing this, Colin, good luck.
It does.
Chili is just got Dan's flaccid little dick right as all of it and the balls in his fucking mouth. Come on, Shuggy, you were beating this guy up and saying what a piece of shit he was. And fucking the last time he was a topic of discussion on your fucking channel, he hasn't changed anything about his lifestyle other than he got himself in an argument with Chili, his employer, and got himself fucking shown the fucking door. That's all he did. He managed to get fired from probably the only job he's had in the last 5 or 6 years. And he's a junkie convict who can't get a fucking job anywhere. And you're applauding him blowing his only opportunity to make a fucking living. You're not offering him a fucking job. You took Limey off the rolls as the Welsh News Network editor, oddly enough, while he was trying to build a true crime channel. And then Miss Mandy and Mark the Sarcastic take it in the hiney hole. Fucking student forever, dude, joined up with Limey's fucking internet masturbation partner and fucking started doing true crime fucking podcasts. Oh my God. You guys fuck each other over without even fucking thinking about what you're doing, and you're just stepping all over each other. Jesus Christ. Why don't you give Colin a job? You're so fucking impressed with his life-changing fucking termination from employment. You're acting like you saved the guy. You fucked him over.
Because it takes a lot of courage to admit that you were wrong and that you've been hoodwinked.
It takes a lot of courage to admit that you've been wrong and you're getting hoodwinked. Then you're going to eat that fucking slice of crow pie because you are absolutely wrong and you are getting fucking hoodwinked. It doesn't even have to be a chili troll. Just the fact that Colin ran to you when he got fired with Chili on the day that he got a job offer from someone else. So he ran to you to fucking grab a little bit of cash for selling Chili out. Wasn't it you, Dan, that offered money for people to tell stories about Chili? And this dude on his last day working for Chili because he got a job offer from someone else runs to you to grab a little fucking cash, tell you whatever you want to fuck. He's a junkie con man. He just got fired from his job. He's not yet hired to the place he got an offer from. So he runs to you to get what? The tied over fucking drug money for the next 4 to 5 days? So he'll tell you whatever you want to fucking hear while you throw softball leading fucking questions at him. Here's an opportunity to take advantage of this question. Just say something that shits on Chili. Holy fuck, these people. Dan's like a jellyfish. He ain't got no fucking backbone at all. Doesn't float so fucking long on a government dole. He ain't got a jelly bone in his fucking jelly back.
He was open, he was honest, he was direct.
Yeah.
We got. Did we get him wrong?
I know people have been saying that they think it could be a troll between Chili and Colin. I don't think that for a minute.
No, you're right, Dan, because it's not a fucking troll. You are getting played. You're getting used. Colin saw the shit that got done with Tina when Tina started shit talking Chili. So Colin thinks he can slide into fucking Tub Time with Tina's slot and make the fucking rounds as the new bad mouther of Chili. Nobody wants to fucking hear it anymore. Chili's yesterday's papers. No one wants to hear it anymore. Chili's nowhere near as outrageous as he used to be. In fact, the whole situation with Colin, Chili, compared to Chili's past behaviors, Chili handled it pretty well. Pretty fucking well. But then Chili knew what he had the whole time. Colin's he's a junkie. He always needed an advance on his fucking pay. He's a guy that never lives within his means and always thinks that he deserves more than what he's getting. Junkie. Scam runner.
With the information you came out with tonight, I can't see how it's a troll. I really can't. I might be completely wrong. But without information,
there's just not a payout for Chili's in for anything that's been being put out.
No. Although,
the payout don't have to be cash, Hank. It could just be making you shitheads look like a fool because that would even the fucking score, you know? the way you've been doing it for a fucking year. The reality is you're just getting played by a fucking dope fiend con man who you know all too well about all the fucking scams he runs, the lies he tells, and the flip-flopping he does. He started out anti-Chile. He went to Chile. Now he blew up his thing with Chile. Now he wants to come back and talk shit about Chile and get fucking super chats from douchebags like fucking Dan.
Sorry.
Chile often does things without payouts.
I am stunned by the amount of.
Hey, can one of you panel members raise your fucking hand? Who's gotten a payout from Dan? Who's gotten a payout from Dan? Who's gotten a payout from Dan? Either you got a payout from Dan and you're not talking about it because all the money was supposed to be donated to charities, or, you know, Dan is less valuable as a lead guy when it comes to downstream monies than Chile is. Colin at least made money. The 5 on Dance panel are either making money and not talking about it or reporting it because it was supposed to have been donated, or they ain't making any fucking money at all. Chile's a better boss than Dan.
The money that bloody tribal's making. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
That blows me away.
I've been saying for quite some time he makes a lot of money. A lot more than people believe.
No, you haven't, Dan. You've been mocking it for a fucking year.
But I agree with you, Dan, and you always said that, and you were right. But I didn't.
Did you see how? Listen to how Shuggy has to kind of move the balls out of the way so he can backtrack and fucking kowtow to Dan.
Money. A lot more than people believe.
But I agree with you, Dan, and you always said that, and you were right. But I didn't quite understand the scale of it.
You agree with Dan? You just fucking contradicted him, and he said no.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Now he's Chile went live for a second time.
Is Shuggy a fucking gimp? Are you a gimp? Get back in the fucking box, Shuggy. What the fuck, man? Dude, you're backing down to a fucking jellyfish. You said something, Shug. He totally contradicted it, and you followed up with, yeah. I agree. Yup.
Last night after we went on, but we weren't coming back.
I'm looking at this, and I'm kind of like, there's really no way that
he just emailed, and his laptop battery died.
So Colin's laptop battery died. If you had, got him, thrown him a little Cash App money, he could have fucking plugged into the wall at an internet spot. You're such a cheap cocksucker, Dan. Dan sucks the cock.
Stuff that you're on, any kind of medications, cause target. If you let me do my thing, but I'm not putting
away 70 cents.
Hello, Colin.
Colin, enter the
broadcast.
Hey,
how you doing? Good to meet you guys.
Likewise, despite the fact that apparently we've been working together for months.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's news. We actually can't believe that Chile fell.
No, you haven't. It's been Demon that's been talking to fucking Colin behind the scenes. You just got wind of it and started acting like you were in on it. Jesus Christ, Dan. Fucking leech.
for that role, but
Yeah.
okay.
He's very gullible, very, very gullible.
Now, for those who
Yeah.
don't know, a few months ago, about 6 months ago, we started working with somebody who is in Chili's camp. And in order to give them cover for the information we all of a sudden had, we started a whole campaign of, we won't say anything horrible about Colin. We'll all just say
6 months ago, did Dan have any breaking inside information on Chili? No. This is a made-up fucking story. You making shit up again, Danny. You don't have anyone inside Chili's fucking camp. You're just making that shit up because you were trying to get Chili to believe it was Colin, and now Colin's out, so you gotta try to fucking cause more shit. And then you start naming rights on. You're a fucking, Hank, you're a fucking douchebag.
nice things about Colin, thinking there's no way he can be dumb enough to fall for the fact that if it is you, we're going to publicly announce it on a live stream. And he did. He fell for it.
Hopefully he hasn't figured out that it's actually rights on yet.
Hank, you're not supposed to.
There you go. And fucking Jim reading off his cue card. Hank, you're not supposed to. Hey, Jim, we're hearing rumors that you dress up in a cat suit, a fluffy, furry cat suit, and put clown makeup on your face. And we're hearing that you're a fucking furry, Jim. Can you confirm or deny, Jim, that you're a fucking furry? A cat litter box pissing furry? You fucking wingnut. Laura Rader, that is Colin's home that he's sitting in. He was living in the lap of luxury with Chili DeCastro. Chili was paying for a hotel room for him to fucking live in, and he blew up his employment. Now he's sitting in his fucking car all day. I hope you get fucking hemorrhoids.
To say that.
Now, a couple of days ago,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably got his scrutiny on everybody now. You know, ever since, you know, me now. I'm sure he's probably just.
I know it's hard to see it with the banding over the thing when I pause it, but when I unpause it, Art Acuto has a fascination with men sucking men's dick. It's fucking weird, Art, how often you fucking sling that one around as an insult. Don't forget, Dan's son kisses the PP, Art. Don't forget that.
Distrusting everybody.
Then a couple of days ago, Touche gave out 110 memberships in a live stream. And Colin happened. We didn't even notice at the time that Colin happened.
Oh my God, there's so many questions in the chat. Linda Borham says, I've missed a lot. Is Colin Chili's brother from the legal docs or his money sponsor? Colin is a junkie con man who tried to troll Chili in about a little over a year ago on YouTube and was, unsuccessful with it. Chili then contacted him because he liked the way he edited the clips, offered him a job. Colin took a job with Chili. Colin was living in a fucking leaky roof trailer at the time. Chili got him set up in better living conditions, got him a regular paycheck. And, Colin is now fired due to, inability to follow, work directive, that kind of thing. Wouldn't listen to his boss who was, paying him. So he got himself fired, and there were, argument and bullshit. And Colin is now unemployed. Colin was an editor for Chili. He, spliced videos together, did the cuts so they didn't look so obvious as jump cuts. That's all Colin did. Chili took pretty good care of him, actually, as far as compensation goes. Colin got way more than fucking he's worth, that's for sure. But like every dope fiend con man going. Colin thinks he should be the leader of the organization, not the fucking workhorse. So, that kind of attitude doesn't tend to stick around too long, which is probably why Colin has difficulty getting and maintaining employment. Kind of like Jim Felch, who's never really held an actual fucking career job in his life. Probably never spent more than 2-3 years with anyone he worked for, because once they find out you dress up in a furry cat costume with clown makeup and whiskers on and you pee in a fucking litter box, people don't really want to fucking hang out with you anymore. Jimbo?
And to receive one of these gifted memberships.
God forbid we didn't read out all 100 people.
Yeah, we didn't read it out because it was like she literally gave 50 and then straight away 50 more. So there was 100 of them. So we did not read them all out like we normally do. And Colin was in there. Our Chile apparently ability to tech is even worse than we all thought.
So they were a random gifted membership got assigned to Colin somehow. Chile thought that Colin gifted a membership to Dan at Welsh News Network for Chile's Delete Laws channel. And from what I'm hearing, I have a legitimate inside, not source, contact, who claims that everybody knows it's Right-On. I talk to Right-On. We don't really talk much about Chile. And what I'm going to say now was told to me, but it was told to others who were present on Discord, that Colin his days were numbered because of the fact that he was constantly begging for an advance on pay, and he couldn't, budget himself so that he wasn't spending more than the last paycheck he received. And can I get a loan? Can I get a loan? Can I get a loan? But it gets fucking annoying after a while. And even if you're a good employee, it's not worth the fucking hassle. Businessmen, especially at the level Chile's at, where you're the chief cook and bottle washer all at the same time, the extra tasks, loaning money, keeping track of that shit, it blows. You don't want to fucking do it. That's one. Two, Chile's an employer, not a fucking bank. When you make a loan, you can't hold, it's against the law. If an employer loans an employee money, it's against the law for the employer to withhold pay to cover the loan. The pay has to be paid out and then returned by the employee. The employee is entitled to and has to get its full pay every pay period, be it week, bi-weekly, monthly. Any monies borrowed from the company, it's on the honor of the employee to make the necessary payment to extinguish the loan. The business is not legally allowed to withhold pay to cover any loans made to employees or contractors. They have to get their pay by law. It's a royal fucking pain in the ass when you have an employee that's constantly trying to hit you up for an advance. Because there are people that do this shit playing the fucking game, and they'll get you to loan them a couple times, and then they'll file a fucking complaint with the fucking labor department that your pay's getting withheld. So you got to keep those two fucking worlds separate. Have to. So when you have an employee that's constantly trying to hit you up for an advance on pay, you give it to them the first time, you tell them you can't ask again. When they ask the second time, you warn them a second time. If it happens a third time, it doesn't matter what the time for it could be at 1 year intervals. When it happens the third fucking time, adios. Can't have you. So Colin was pushing it on that shit, and It'll factor in that this guy's a fucking junkie too.
And Chili believes that Colin gave me a gifted membership rather than Colin received a random YouTube selection of a gifted membership. We put out a screenshot showing you getting the gifted membership. We've said it on multiple live streams, but he still won't believe us.
Well, because he can't go back.
Dan, you're a documented, demonstrable liar. Why would anyone believe you? Chili got bad information or he misread something. He made a mistake. What, you're fucking error-free, Dan? Get the fuck out of here. You're on the government fucking dole, Dan.
Back on it now. Because then he won't look like the alpha that he knows he is deep down inside.
Yeah, he's definitely not an alpha. He's far from it. He's
Chili's not an alpha. Chili's far from it. Weren't we talking the same shit a year and a half ago? We're covering the same fucking slippy slide mud fucking road. Good God, Dan.
He's just a loser. He's pathetic. I mean, he wants to be the leader, but he's not. All he does is copy, everything that he wants to be. He wants to be James Freeman. He wants to be Long Island Audit. So he copies those people. So.
No, you spoke about that on Irish's.
And you're a fucking junkie that worked for him. He raised and brought in the money that fucking paid you, you junkie, ungrateful fucktard. And you're selling the guy out who put sustenance on your plate for this fucking foreigner. For this fucking foreigner who will never do anything to benefit you. I'm starting to develop a real fucking problem with the idea that it's okay for these non-American citizens. You can say I'm xenophobic or I hate foreigners. I don't hate foreigners. What I hate is busybody fucking foreigners who stick their nose into American business. And by business, I mean our affairs as the United States. Chili de Castro is a U.S. citizen. Chili de Castro has a God-given right to free speech, a God-granted right to free speech. We hold that truth to be self-evident. And here comes some douchebag government doll foreigner who's told nothing but fucking lies to his audience for the past year. And this fucking Welsh waterhead liar wants to stifle the First Amendment free speech rights of an American citizen. I mean, look, Dan, we'll take care of our own fucking shit. We don't need you. There's problems in fucking Wales, but you don't talk about them. You have the fattest city in the United Kingdom is in fucking Wales. 82% of the population of a city is obesely fat. Homelessness in Wales is up 25% in 2023. There will be an accompanying rise in crime. You have your own fucking problems, Dan. It's the problem with you fucking little backseat douchebags. You have your own shit to take care of, but all you can think about is how can you get in the front seat and get behind the wheel. It ain't your fucking car, Dan. It's never going to be your fucking car. Never has been your car. You don't call the shots on shit, Dan. So stop coming over here and trying to stifle the free speech of American citizens. You got your own problems in your own tiny little United Kingdom. Maybe if you turned your efforts toward gaining some independence, your little Welsh watershed shithole fucking sewer of a country wouldn't be under an English boot anymore. But you keep looking over here jealously at the Americans and the freedom we have, and that a guy like Chili DeCastro can actually run fucking circles around you, Dan, when it comes to raising money. Chili pays people. Dan don't fucking pay anybody. Who's ever gotten a paycheck from Dan? Chili pays people. You still sucking that fucking hind tit, Dan. You're behind Chili DeCastro. Stop trying to stifle his fucking freedom of speech, you foreign fucking waterhead.
Earlier.
Yep.
Does he really pay that much attention to what they're doing?
Oh yeah. So much to the point that he even wants me to do my edits like them and put the video lengths exactly what they're, you know, they're making their videos 8 minutes. He wants me to make them exactly 8 minutes. I mean, he's really, yeah.
Now, for those who
Whoa. This editor's complaint is Chili wants the video to be 8 minutes. That's your fucking you can't take and put 8 minutes together, chop it wherever it needs to be chopped, whether it makes sense or not, and just deliver the fucking product that the guy who's compensating you asked you to give him. Right? If you fat fuck, if you went to fucking Burger King and ordered a fucking Whopper and large fries, and they gave you a fucking kids meal with a fish sandwich, would you just sit there and say, "Oh well, I got what I got"? No, you're gonna go back and say, "I didn't get what I asked for. I want what I fucking asked for." That's what Chili told you what to do. You didn't fucking do it. You're the editor. You're not the decision maker. Chili's the decision maker. He tells you what product he wants. You deliver or you don't get paid. That's the way it works. You're not an hourly employee. You're a fucking contract worker, a project worker. And I can guarantee, motherfucker, if you're crying poverty and broke right now, you didn't set aside any of the money you need to set aside to fulfill your 1099 status tax obligation. So you're going to fuck the American citizen too, because you ain't going to pay your fair share of your fucking tax. Don't put that shit on Chili. You are a contractor, 1099, project work, not an hourly or salaried employee. You don't tell the fucking truth about shit, dude.
Aren't creators, they won't understand the significance of the 8 minutes. Now, the 8 minutes allows you to have mid-roll ads.
Yep.
Anything under 8 minutes, you can't have a mid-roll advert. So the potential for income from that video is much, much less from YouTube's point of view.
So I should clarify. I don't mean less than 8 minutes. You know, he wanted it to be exactly 8 minutes because, like, there were videos.
So he wants an 8-minute video. Dan just explained to you why it's important to do an 8-minute video. Why couldn't you just give your employer the fucking 8-minute video? That's why you got fired, Colin. It's not because of all the shitty fucking insults you're slinging at Chili. It's because you were unable to complete the task required. I employ people. If anyone who's unable to complete the fucking tasks that they're required to do to get paid, they'll get paid and then they won't be around anymore. Colin, you're not around anymore.
Videos that I was making that were like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and he wanted them to be exactly 8 minutes.
Oh, dear
Yeah.
God.
That's
Why?
why we get the bullshit intros and outros extended sometimes.
Yep.
You mean that, like that fucking ridiculous fucking intro with the fucking Welsh waterheads running around with a flag, and fucking the other one with lip shitty shittero singing some fucking medieval fucking lute song? You guys suck dick, dude. You suck dick. You suck so bad. You're the fucking worst. You do every fucking thing that you complain about. Jesus Christ, Ed. I hope that you played old time rock and roll again in this fucking marathon 6-hour fucking stream. You guys know how to beat a fucking dead horse, you buzzards.
Why does he want them exactly 8 minutes? Because so long as you hit the 8 minutes, you can do 9 minutes and it makes no difference.
He doesn't understand how it works. He doesn't understand how YouTube works at all. Same thing with the sub thing. He doesn't understand that they're random memberships. And he doesn't even understand that I didn't gift a membership. I was gifted a membership. You know, he didn't.
Bro, what the fuck's wrong with you and your ability to communicate facts that you couldn't explain to Chili that you were gifted a membership? You did not gift a membership. I mean, if you have to, bust out a piece of paper and a fucking crayon and draw a fucking pictorial representation. What the fuck's wrong with you that you couldn't communicate a simple truth to your employer and you had to get to the point where you got in a fucking argument about it? Maybe you were jonesing at the time. Who fucking knows, Colin? It's hard to tell what motivates and debilitates a fucking junkie con man.
Didn't even know what he didn't even in YouTube. He doesn't even know. Before I got there, he didn't even know how to read the analytics. He didn't know what the analytics meant. He didn't even know where to look for how much his paycheck was going to be each month. He didn't know any of that. He didn't know how to use StreamYard. He still doesn't know how to use StreamYard 100%.
He didn't know it enough to run StreamYard last night.
No. I mean,
he did run it today though.
He knows enough to turn it on, but he doesn't know like how to turn the comments on the side check. He doesn't know how to put the banners on the side, you know, the scrolling banners and stuff.
Dude, that's like a guy who's saying, oh, he doesn't know how to put the decorations on the Christmas tree right. And all of that shit here's why Chili's not worried about you being gone, Colin. Because all the shit that you did was window dressing. None of it was a necessity. And now he don't have to pay you no more. It happens, bro. It happens. You get hired on, you do a good job, you make things look frill, and then somebody starts realizing that the frill ain't worth the fucking money they're paying for it. And the junky fucking frill provider is constantly coming around trying to get an advance on next week's pay, like fucking Wimpy from Popeye. I'd gladly pay you next Tuesday for a hamburger today. It's fucking annoying. The baubles and flashy things aren't worth the fucking problems you cause.
He doesn't know how to do any of that.
Yeah.
He's an imbecile.
I thought StreamYard was idiot proof, but Chili's proven me wrong.
Yeah.
And yet he's selling a tri-folded piece of paper that's gangbusters making more fucking money than your fucking 6 hours of booberific content is. If Chili's so fucking stupid, Hank, Shuggy, Blecka, Jimblo, Danny Boy, if Chili's so fucking stupid, why is he making more fucking money than you guys? In a more honest way than you guys. Why is that? See, when you're talking about how Chili does business and you're going to show Chili's numbers, you're going to start doing that fucking shit, giving out personal and private information, divulging business secrets is especially if you signed a fucking non-disclosure agreement, you can't claim ignorance at that point. The non-disclosure agreement might not really be worth much as far as a legal document goes, but it is an implicit warning about divulging trade secrets, which every business has, even the fucking worst of them. And here you're gonna fucking do it, Dan.
Yep.
But Colin, how much of that is him not having to have done it because you could do it, rather than him not knowing? I mean, you've done all the backroom work, so he's never had to.
You make a good argument there. It's a possibility. I mean, I did do everything for him, so although I have showed him in fairness, I have showed him multiple times how to do it and what to do it. And even the streams when I'm not there, he still doesn't do it. He doesn't know how to do it. So
Shuggy stuck up for Chili.
I wonder if today he got somebody to help him out to use StreamYard instead of him figuring out StreamYard again.
You know what that would mean, Hank? That would mean Chili has friends. You've been saying he doesn't and blah, blah, blah. You know what else that means, Hank? That means Colin was pretty easily replaced. Maybe they had someone waiting in the wings and we're just... because Colin's last payday was going to be the 20th of October. Oh, hey, look, it's the 20th of October. I mean, Colin blew a hole in the boat 2 days before the boat would have reached shore and he would have been paid his money. I mean, you couldn't wait 2 more days before you fucking had your little temper tantrum? It wouldn't have been much of a story on the 21st, right? Colin gets his last paycheck. Bye-bye, Colin.
It's a possibility.
This is more orchestrated fucking drama.
Because he hired 2 other editors already, even before I left. Because for the last month or so, he's been threatening to fire me every other day for something, either this or that, just some stupid stuff. But and telling me that they're going to replace me and he's not going to pay me as much because he's got to hire them now and stuff like that.
We wondered with that a bit whether the whole thing about the gifted membership and you working with me and with Kate was just cover for the fact he doesn't have the money to pay you. Just cover.
Did Dan say Kate?
It's because he's got to hire, they're going to replace me and he's, not going to pay me as much because he's got to hire them now and stuff like that.
We wondered with that a bit whether the whole thing about the gifted membership and you working with me and with Kate was
with
just
Kate.
Cover.
Why are you throwing Kate's name
he
in
doesn't have the money to pay you?
That's what I believe, because his money is super tight. That's why he's been, we've been fighting a lot. Because anytime the money gets low, that's when his bipolar really, because he's super bipolar. But that's when his bipolar really kicks in. And he...
Yeah, it might not be bipolar, you dipshit fucking junkie who has no clue about fucking personality disorder diagnosis. It could just be regular fucking stress. Money's low, you get stressed out. You guys don't fucking get that all the pressure is on Chili. So the money gets low, his behavior gets bothersome, he's easily annoyed. Yeah, that's because the fucking money's low. And you're not sensitive enough to not come around and be asking for an advance on your fucking pay when the money's low. It's doubly annoying bullshit there, Mr. Campbell. You must be a real fucking pain in the cock to have around if Chili got rid of you.
He snaps, it like flips a switch and snaps, and just lashes out. And I think that's it, especially with, you know, flying to the East Coast and everything. He's completely out of money, and he cannot pay me, so therefore he's got to make up an excuse to not have to pay me.
Bro, that's the shit you talk after the 20th. The 20th just fucking started. That's today. If you get your money before the end of the day today, all of this bullshit you talked is bullshit you talked. You got to wait till the 21st to start bitching about the fucking pay you didn't get. It's not due till the 20th. That's you, Colin. I want my money now. Oh, you get it on your fucking payday, like every other fucking paycheck. We don't scramble. Businesses don't scramble to do extra paperwork and cut fucking checks and that shit because you decided to have a fucking meltdown at work. You're a fucking baby. And these guys are going to coddle you like a little baby because they want to pimp you the fuck out.
I think we could probably hit Chili in the wallet by...
One of the things we've been wondering is, we know he has an obsession with us from the amount of copyright strikes he's done against this channel.
Oh, he's done probably 75 of them, if not more.
How much of that
75. Dan's reported every time Chili's fucking copyright struck him. It's not 75, so Colin don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He just making shit up because he's feeding Dan the answers he thinks Dan wants to hear because he needs Dan and Dan's pimp hand to shop him out to the fucking WNN bag holder cronies.
You actually involved with?
I did none of them. I told him I would not get involved. I would not do it. He did some of them under Delete Law's clips, but I did not do any of them. I would not. He wanted me to. I said no. I said I'm focusing on making videos. I don't want to go down that road. And the whole time I was with him, I tried to get him to stay off of talking about trolls, to going after trolls, suing trolls. Just focus on the content. Don't focus on anything else. And he can't do that. He's incapable of doing that.
Dude, why the fuck are you telling Chili what to do? You're the fucking video editor. You're a junkie living in a hotel room doing project work, editing videos. Chili don't want to hear shit about shit from you except, hey, your video's done, sir.
How much were you involved with the lawsuit side of things? Not directly, but just there when he was talking about them.
Absolutely zero. I had nothing to do with the lawsuits. I mean, he did send me motions that he would write, or not he would write, but his team, supposed team, would write from time to time. And asked me how it looked or something like that. But for the most part, I had nothing to do with any of the lawsuits he did. I know who did. I know the people that wrote all the lawsuits for him and everything, but me personally didn't have any involvement.
From what we understand, he, with his supporters who were helping him with very bits, he very much compartmentalizes everything. They're not allowed to just all talk to each other. He will talk to specific people about one thing, and they're not supposed to talk to the other supporters about that thing.
Oh, absolutely. Like in Signal, he'll like if he wants to have somebody on the show, you know, he'll link their number up in Signal for us to communicate. But it's not just direct. He has to make sure he's in there too, so he can see what we're saying and monitor everything that we talk about. And
now, Colin, you're outside Chili's company talking about the inner workings of Chili's company. You get why Chili was monitoring you. You should be able to put that together. You are now, you had an argument with Chili. The third time you've had the same style blow up. Colin, took passwords for bank accounts of Chili's. You changed shit on his YouTube channel. You deleted videos. You tried to fuck him over. That's why you were being monitored while you were under their employment, because you are not fucking trustworthy. And here you are showing to the entire world how not fucking trustworthy you are. This ain't going to be helpful for you while you shopping a job. And if I was the person who offered you a job and I saw this shit talking about your previous employer, you wouldn't come to my fucking front door ever.
Then as soon as that's over with, as soon as I don't need to talk to them anymore, he would delete the signal. That way I couldn't talk to him anymore.
Huh. Now, with the fundraisers, we've always suspected that even the genuine ones were also a grift.
What? Dan's calling someone out on a fundraiser grift while he's done 6 lotteries in 6 months with 6 raffle prizes that have been won by 6 different moderators of his shitty fucking channel. A statistical impossibility. Over 6 charities named that were supposed to have been distributed funds. Not only all of the funds that were raised in that particular month, but all of the funds with the 30% withheld from the super chats reimbursed by Dan, and then all of the donated money, super chat, PayPal, membership purchases, was all supposed to be totaled up, and then Dan was supposed to match that amount, and then the monies were supposed to be sent to a charity. It's been done 6 fucking times, and Dan has never shown a fucking receipt, and he's calling Chili out for grifting. Ooh, my Danny boy, you fucking little foreigners need to get your fingers out of our fucking pie.
Was more money than was accounted for.
They were all a grift, 100%. Well, I wouldn't say 100% because the people did get the money that he said he gave to them. As far as like if he raised $1,000, he would give that person that $1,000. But any money he got over that, he kept. 100% he kept. And especially there was one time with Riot Girl, somebody actually sent $1,000 extra to him through Zelle, and he just kept it.
Oh, is that with the lawyer business that went on not so long ago?
Yep.
Because we also noticed this.
Not a fucking receipt, not a shred of proof. Not a fucking receipt, not a shred of proof. And Dan, a week ago, if you asked how trustworthy is Colin Scott Campbell, Dan would have told you 0. He scores 0. But today, because he got into an argument with Chili, he's the most trustworthy source on Chili alive today. Dan, you getting manipulated by a low-rent, jobless, homeless, living in his car, junky motherfucker. And you getting fucking led around like a little fucking not still milk-fed calf with a brass ring in its fucking nose. Junkie gonna take you fucking home, make you into fucking dinner.
This lawyer happens to sound very much like a lawyer he was talking to before you went to work for Chili.
It is the same guy. The guy's named Jack something or another. I don't know the guy's last name, but you know, there were times where he had conversations with him on the phone, live streaming while driving.
So it is that we thought it was.
Yeah.
Jim, do you have any questions at this point?
I do have a question that was posed by a couple of folks to me. Chili came to the East Coast last week. Did you see him at all? Did he snub you? What went on with that?
He snubbed me. He actually he went out of his way not to meet me. He specifically.
Bro, you're a fucking contract employee. You're not even an on-the-clock hourly employee. You're a contract worker. Sorry, you're not even an employee. You're a fucking contract worker. Chili is the guy who brings in the money that pays you. If he don't want to fucking see you, he don't want to fucking see you. You know why he doesn't want to see you, Colin? Because you'll try to hit him up for a loan, and because you don't generate any revenue. So anytime Chili spends with you from a business standpoint is a waste of fucking time. That's why Chili didn't come see you, because in Chili's company, you're a task performer, nothing more. You're not a decision maker in the company in any way. You're trying to tell Chili what to do. You're hitting Chili up for money to be loaned to you before you've earned the fucking money. You're a sheer aggravation as a fucking employee.
He did not want to meet me. That's another reason I think he had planned to get rid of me this whole time, because he couldn't pay me, because he specifically did not want to meet me. He would not tell me when specifically he was coming to town, even though I only, where I was staying, I only lived about 45 minutes to an hour away from where he was. So I was right there. I could have went with him. I could have met him. I could have backed him up at the DMV.
Is it too difficult for you to pick up these subtle hints that Chili didn't have time to, or just plain didn't want to see you? You're not picking up on that. You're acting like a girlfriend that got stood up for a fucking movie date.
All that stuff, but he didn't want me to. He went, and his excuse was he works alone. He doesn't want anybody going with him. He works alone. Yet that's a lie, obviously, because he had Riot Girl with him, he had Rights On with him, and he had that lawyer Jack. He had the guy Jack with him. So he took 3 people with him. He took a whole posse to the DMV with him.
Thank you, Big Boat. Little Bike for the $2 super chat. Do the complaints about him streaming while driving work?
I wouldn't know. I mean, it's never led to him getting in trouble for it. I'll tell you that much.
Does it trigger him when people are commenting on it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He gets super triggered over the comments.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Anything. I mean, I have videos I'm going to release on my channel soon of where he's actually going down comments that people read and reading out, troll comments about him, where he's just all triggered.
No.
So Colin again is going to probably, at the prompting of Dan, start to disclose information that he signed an agreement to not disclose. I don't care if it's legally binding or worth the paper it's written on. You agreed to it and you fucking signed it. You're telling the fucking world, Colin, that a contract isn't fucking good enough protection from your fucking vindictive bullshit.
We were told that part of the reason you were able to be gifted a membership is that Chili had specifically asked you to keep an eye on what we were up to, what we were saying about him.
Correct.
Now,
hey, Danny, you're so fucking insignificant that Chili doesn't even watch the shit you do. He had the fucking junky video editor keep track of you. You small fry, Dan. You small fry. Wait till Jim gets all shocked when he finds out that Chili doesn't know about the fucking completely forgettable website Jim writes a fucking rag fucking blog for.
Chili has been manufacturing evidence for the courts.
Oh, absolutely. The Nutella was fake. I'm pretty sure him.
Holy fuck. You're an asshole, Dan. You're an asshole for even talking about the fucking legal shit while that shit's still going on. You throwing this boy under the fucking bus. You're leading him off a fucking cliff, and you don't fucking care, Dan. Really stupid talking about Chili's fucking legal matters, Colin. Dumb fucking move.
Him breaking his own window in Vegas. I think that was fake.
And a lot of people, obviously, because it was such a big thing and went on for so long, is the wheelchair fundraiser. A lot of people have questions about that. Now, from what you were saying earlier, from what I understand, the normal...
Hey, Danny, just for the record, I know a lot of people who have questions about where that fucking money went for the last 6 fucking months on the raffle shit. That now you're now claiming there's like 10 fucking grand you built your fucking listening audience out of, promised to donate money to charities and never fucking made the donations. We're hearing a lot about that over here at codedfriend.001, and there are even submissions of concern making it to so fucking weird. Oh, Danny boy.
Procedure was that you would talk to the people who were going to come on the show.
Correct. Anybody that came on the live, I would talk to them beforehand. I would set them up. I'd make sure I get their Cash Apps or PayPal or whatever if it was a fundraiser. You know, if they had any videos they wanted to share, I would make sure I got them synced up and lined up and everything. And that's the normal procedure for anybody that came online. And anybody we've raised money for since I've been there, I've done that with and done that for. Eric is the only one that I didn't. I have not seen. I have asked him for, you know, to connect me with Eric back then when we did the fundraiser so I could set all that up, and he wouldn't. He said, "No, don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it." So I've never actually seen him. I've never met him. I've never heard his voice. I don't know if the guy exists. I actually don't think he does. I think Chili just invented him, but I'm not 100% sure on that, to be honest. But that's my feelings. I can't say either way, but that's my feelings. I just know that everything that happened there was out of the normal.
Now, one of the biggest contradictions with yourself, Colin, has always been you started off opposing Chili.
Yep.
And then you switched sides.
Yep. He's a good talker, man. I mean, he talks a good game. He's a con artist. That's what he's good at. You know, he's good at getting you to believe what he wants you to believe. That's why he's got so many people brainwashed. A lot of his subscribers are brainwashed. They just don't listen to anything. You know, you could put all the you know, all the proof right in their face, and they still follow him blindly.
And you knew all that, and yet you still sat there doing what you do. You're not the virtuous, honest guy you're trying to fucking paint yourself as there, Colin. If you knew all this bad shit was going on, Colin, why didn't you get the fuck out of there a long time ago? Because your past history is full of the same fucking running cons and scams that you accuse Chili of doing, and that I know Dan has actually done.
But yeah, so when I first met him, I had a troll channel, and I was, you know, making fun of him, and I sent him some of my videos on Facebook, and he replied to one of them, and we had a conversation through Facebook Messenger, and he actually said that, you know, hey, you do good work, you know, I like your editing, and that kind of took me aback. Yeah, because you know, he's supposed to be this big dickhead that, you know, tells everybody that he gonna, you know, ass F them and stuff and all this stuff. But he was actually nice to me in that face message, and Dylan said, I could use somebody, that would help me and do this, for me. Would you be interested? And I said, well, I don't want to get involved with you because of all these reasons. You're a fraud and this, that, and the other. And he actually went through the steps and showed me on the surface, he went through and gave me enough for me to think that he was telling the truth, that what everybody said about him was a lie. I know now that wasn't the case. I found that out pretty soon after working for him, but I didn't know that at the time. But yeah, the reason I started working for him is because he talked a good game. He made me believe him.
Why did you stay so long?
I stayed so long for two reasons: because I needed money. I'm still trying to get out of my situation, and the second reason is helping people. I like helping people, and I want to help people, and I want to make a difference. And regardless of whether he.
So Colin stayed because he needed the fucking paycheck, and that is the reason he stayed. But he also says he stayed because he likes helping people. But he's just gone through a fucking 30-minute litany of how Chili's doing nothing but ripping people off and frauding them. I guess a junkie's going to double talk that kind of fucking double talk, right? You make the guy you're working with look like the bad guy. Meanwhile, you're working with the fucking bad guy, but you're actually a good guy. Oh, yeah. Pop another fucking pill, dude. You're the good guy.
He stole a lot of the money from people by not paying them everything that came in. We were still helping people because some of that, they wouldn't have gotten that $1,000 or $1,500, whatever, if it had not been for, us showing their video and raising the money for them and stuff. So I just, I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a change. And I needed money. So that's the reasons why I stayed. Plus I'm loyal. That's the other reason is I'm a very loyal person. I'm not, I'm not a backstabber. I don't go turn on people like I did. I won't.
Colin just caught himself lying. He's not a backstabber. He doesn't go and stab people in the back. Bro, that's what you've been doing for 30 fucking minutes. Stabbing Chili in the back. You two-tongued motherfucker. What the fuck, you lying son of a bitch? We're supposed to believe the shit you say? You don't stab people in the back. All you're doing is fucking stabbing Chili in the back. Fucking wow, Dad. You didn't even coach this fucking clown show?
Don't screw somebody over unless they screw me over first.
Yeah.
Chili didn't screw you over, Colin. Your pay was due on the 20th. Right now, it's the 20th. When you did all this backstabbing and dishing the dirt on Chili, it was only the fucking 19th. Chili still got a whole day to get your pay to you. You shouldn't have been bitching this bitch until the 21st, bro. You look like you untrustable, vindictive, and, spoiled like a fucking 5-year-old girl. Daddy, I won.
How do you now feel about the part you played in grifting his audience? Because
I hate it.
You knew what Chili was doing. You knew that once he reached a set goal, he was going to keep all the rest of that money.
I hate it. I hate it. I mean, I never know exactly how much money he kept, but I do know that it was definitely over every time, and he never sent those people that money, whether it be $50 or $100 or like in the one case, $1,000. He never.
Nama in the chat says, I like delete laws. And then BTW, hi to everyone. The odds are stacked against you in this chat room. Although I don't think anybody's really all that sympathetic to Colin Scott Campbell. We do have Rights Honest here on a regular basis. We do have some Chili followers that come around. You are outnumbered in the chat, sir. You're welcome to be here. Keep things civil. If you swing on anybody, you probably got to get swung on by a couple of people. Just a heads up ahead of time. But other than that, be friendly with the crowd. The crowd will be friendly with you. Have a nice day, sir.
Never gave him the money, but yeah, I mean, I hate it. I'm actually disgusted with a lot of the things that went down, that I was a part of. I mean, I didn't do anything unethical, me personally, because I told him that I wouldn't. He knew I wouldn't. He wouldn't come. That's why he never, like with the Eric thing or whatever.
No, man, nobody thinks you're a troll. Just giving you fair warning. Maybe setting up higher expectations than what you'll encounter, so that you don't get taken by surprise. You're welcome here, bro. Don't worry about it.
Like, that's probably why he didn't want to tell me anything about it, because he knew I wouldn't do it. He wouldn't ask me to do anything unethical because he knew I wouldn't. If I knew it was unethical, for sure, he knew I wouldn't do it.
Now, one of the things we've wondered about is, we noticed when you started working for Chili, because his production value increased. It was much easier to watch and to react to and to comment.
Oh yeah, grease up that butt crack there, Danny, before you slide that flaccid thing in there. Grease it up.
Comment on, because it just wasn't a total fucking car crash every day. And he appeared to get quite upset and jealous with you because you were getting recognition for having improved the production value of what he was putting out. Not just the work you did on DLZ clips, but the work you were doing on the main channel with the lives, especially, it was noticeable.
100%. He like I said.
You know what I remember about Colin showing up on Chili's lives? I haven't watched a lot of Chili stuff at all in the last probably 6 months. But what I remember of Colin on Chili lives is Colin popping in out of the fucking blue and Chili trying to, as subtly as possible, tell Colin to hit the fucking bricks. And then eventually he had to straight up say, "Hey, Colin, hit the fucking bricks." You're just a horker who was trying to weasel in past the point where you were supposed to be in all the fucking time, Colin. It's one of the reasons you got yourself fired.
I said that goes back to him being, he's a huge narcissist and he's got a gigantic ego, and he's got to be the man. He's got to be the man in charge. He's got to be the face of everything, and he can't, even to this day in his mind, all the growth of the channel was 100% because of him. I had nothing to do with it. It wasn't the editing.
It wasn't because of anything you did, Colin. I want to address something in the chat here. Carte Blanche says they all keep some cash after the amount requested is raised. It's part of YouTube. Unlike Dan, who hasn't shown receipts of where the money raised has gone. Correct. But you know what I was thinking when I read that? Nobody gives a shit that YouTube is scalping 30% of the fucking super chat money. No one's calling YouTube grifters. YouTube is literally taking 30% of the fucking super chat money that a lot of the time is raised for donation to charities or to help a person out. YouTube's clipping 30% of that right off the fucking top. No one bitches about it. No one's calling YouTube a bunch of grifters. They're not doing anything. They're just taking 30% off the top. Yeah, they provide the platform and all that shit, but nobody's complaining about the 30% they take because they provide the platform. But if you don't have guys like Chili DeCastro, you don't have fundraisers. And if you have guys like Dan and Colin are now giving Chili shit for delivering the amount he said he would deliver and withholding anything that came in excess. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but Chili delivered what he said he would deliver. No one has ever seen a receipt showing that Dan delivered any of the money to the charities he said he was going to deliver them to. And yet Dan gets a fucking pass? It's so fucking weird, man. It's so weird that Dan has run an illegal lottery disguised as a raffle, raffling off refurbished electronic goods to his listening audience who's participating in an illegal lottery. And then Dan pockets all the fucking money to the point where YouTube, Google, AdSense, and PayPal investigated Dan's claims. And in order for Dan to satisfy them, Dan had to go in his personal bank account and make donations. Dan ain't telling the whole fucking story, but you know what? No one's ever seen a fucking receipt from Dan. So right here, Dan and Colin are confirming that if Chili says he's going to raise $1,000 for a person, Chili delivers the 1,000. If he raised 1,300, he's keeping the extra 300. Nobody's bitching that YouTube takes 30%. Nobody's bitching that Dan is running illegal lottery every month, 6 months consecutive, 6 individual crime counts if it were fucking charged and prosecuted. Also, it's starting to look like repeating RICO kind of fucking petty grift to the tune of 10 grand. Dan's never shown a fucking receipt. Nobody knows if any charity that Dan sponsored ever got any money. We know that Tugay, the homosexual male who was a moderator who won the last lottery raffle at the Welsh News Network, said, informed Dan that he was going to donate, this gay male was going to donate the electronic equipment won in Dan's raffle in the name of Welsh News Network to the charity. And Dan said, oh, don't fucking do that. Don't use our name with the charity. We don't intend to give them the money. So we don't want them to know that we held a raffle in their name. So you take the credit for the grand gesture. He panicked when that gay guy, Touche, said he was going to donate the electronic equipment to the fucking charity. Dan fucking panicked. Woo. Dan, you suck. You suck. You can't raise the money Chili does. You can't deliver any money. You've pocketed all the. Why does a rich guy like you need $10,000, Dan? You're fucking Scrooge McDuck, Mr. Moneybags. You got a basement filled with fucking gold coins stacked from the ceiling, from the floor to the ceiling. What do you need 10 grand for? Because all your stories about all your fucking wealth are all fucking lies, Dan. You're on the government dole living in a fucking council house. Possibly dishonorably discharged from Her Majesty's rowboat service, if you were ever even in it at all.
I did. It wasn't the stuff I implemented as far as scheduling videos so people knew exactly when the next videos were coming out every day. It wasn't all the shorts that I did. It wasn't the, like you said, with this, the live streaming, StreamYard, and then streaming it to all the platforms instead of just on YouTube. It wasn't any of that. It was all him. Everybody came just because of him.
Now, we know he always famously claimed that if you do a live about him, you'll get 1,000.
Carte Blanche, we're on the same track here on our thinking. Carte Blanche says, don't get me wrong, at Linda Borham and W124 Mercedes, Chili is no angel. It's just the big deal being made about Colin leaving, supposedly giving up Chili. We haven't heard anything. You're right, Cart. We haven't heard anything that we haven't heard before hundreds of fucking times in the 365 days of the year, 6 hour a day coverage of Chile de Castro by the Welsh Snooze Network. That airspace was intentionally left blank for effect.
And subs and all this stuff that he used to claim every other week when he was trying to go after the troll channels. The way his membership grew was quite surprising to those.
Wait, Dan's going to cast aspersions on the growth of Chile's subscriber base. Meanwhile, Colin's going to fumble this fucking one and completely justify the number of subscribers that Chile has, leaving Dan with egg on his face because everybody knows Dan bought 8,000 subs in the last fucking month or so. Shitbag motherfucker. Linda Borham says, I don't believe Colin. To quote Merb and Decoded, it could be a trap. It's a Kafka trap. Don't you get it? I went to great pains to drag out of Merb the example and definition of what a Kafka trap is to enlighten you guys just before a Kafka trap was being pulled, where Dan says, when did Chile stop conning? It's a Kafka trap. Merb, look out. Don't step in it. They're not so easy to see anymore. Kafka trap, Merb.
Who were watching from the outside. Because it was very, very sudden. There was a rapid increase in members in subscriber count, and you could almost predict each day when and how many. Did that raise any alarm bells to you in terms of where those subs were coming from?
It did not. To my knowledge, he could have done it without me knowing, but I've never seen him buy subs. I don't think he bought subs personally. That's the one thing I can say. Like, he's a lot of things. I don't think he bought subs because our growth was from all the shorts I was pumping out. I was working 18 hours a day, pumping out shorts like crazy. And a lot of those shorts I was making were going viral. They were getting 1 million views or, 700,000 views or whatever. And that was right at the time when YouTube just came out with the shorts for the monetization. And they were pushing them hard. They were pushing them real hard. So that is why the channel subscriptions just blew up and our view counts just blew up.
So Colin just blew a hole in Dan's little fucking tire. According to Colin, the Colin who's throwing Chile under the bus everywhere he can says the sub count at Delete Laws is legit. But you didn't think you were going to fucking validate Chile's claim there, did you, Danny boy? Meanwhile, everyone knows that Dan bought 8,000 subs in the last month and that Dan now has to buy views. Because while he was buying subs, he was losing actual human listeners. And now he's got less. And now that he's done with his sub buying, he has to buy views. Meanwhile, Colin Scott Campbell has validated and justified Chile's sub count. Jesus, Dan, you look like the dumb guy in the fucking room. Maybe it is a troll. Murphy, look out. It's a trap.
Up over that. The reason it died down now is because they found a way to, as they like with the long form videos, they shadow ban them. And it's not him specifically, it's because of the content that he covers. Like they don't want to cover anything that's got guns in it and police and violence and stuff.
Now, to be fair, that's not YouTube. That's the advertisers don't want to pay to be advertised on those kind of videos.
Well, I don't think the advertisers would care either way. Honestly, I think it's the algorithm. I think it's YouTube being proactive, but it's not even YouTube directly. I think it's the algorithm that's doing it. It's not like nobody at YouTube is sitting there targeting, in particularly. It's the algorithm doing that by itself.
Now, we obviously know, because we've been involved in a lot of meetings with YouTube and Google about Chili, that YouTube are gunning for him.
Hold on 1 second. There's a tractor trailer going by with his jake brake on. I can't hear you.
No problem.
Dan don't know what a fucking jake brake is, dude.
Better now?
All right, go ahead.
We know that YouTube are specifically looking into Chili for his actions in regards to his conduct to other channels. How much has that been playing on Chili's mind and how he is when he's not on camera?
He's terrified. We both knew that it's just a matter of time before YouTube deletes the channels, both clips and his main channel. Because they're linked together in the same AdSense account. So if one get nuked, they both get nuked. That's how it is. If they're under the same AdSense, you lose both channels. So yeah, I mean he's terrified of that, because he loses that and he loses all his money. Because TikTok, we don't do anything. Ever since the TikTok got banned, now nothing came on the TikTok. So the TikTok now isn't even monetized. So that doesn't even bring many money in, other than trifolds. He makes a ton of money off trifolds. But yeah, so he worries about it a lot. It's, he knows the day's coming.
Now, we know the original Delete Laws clips got nuked by YouTube because of fake IDs.
No, it got
what YouTube put out.
It actually got nuked. We didn't know this until after the fact, but it got nuked for impersonation. Somehow they thought that I was impersonating him, or he was, because the first channel was in my name. So I guess they thought that I was impersonating him or whatever, but that's why it got nuked.
The channel nuke for impersonation. Chili was honest. He was above board. He said that was the reason it got nuked. You're validating Chili as an honest man, Dan. This is not working out good for you.
Because what he put out with the screenshots and everything from that wasn't what YouTube was saying.
Yeah, that's not what we thought originally, and I mean, yeah, originally that's what we thought. But when I tried to appeal it, down the road a few months later, because they were pretty ambiguous when it first happened. But when I tried to appeal it a few months later, that's what they told me. The reason for getting terminated was for impersonation.
Because when he famously again started trying to argue with the chat AI that you get when you try and talk to YouTube first, you have to get through that to get to a human being. And he tried to argue with the chat AI, which was just hilarious because everybody except for him knew it was a chat AI, and he alternates between trying to threaten it and trying to hit on it. And we're all just sat here going, what the fuck?
He argues with ChatGPT all the time.
Does he do that off air as well?
Oh, yes.
It's not just a skip for on air.
Feed him fucking... Jesus Christ, man. You're talking to a junkie, Dan. He's telling you what you want to fucking hear.
To have a bit of fun. And
no, that's him. He does that off air as well.
Hank, do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Yeah, it's going back to when talking about how he's shadow banned. Well, we would play the same material watching Chili, but we would get full monetization for it. I'm not sure. I don't think it's the content, or strictly the content.
I don't know. I'm not too sure then. I mean, that was our theory of why, well, that was my theory. I wouldn't say that's our theory. That was my theory, because he thought YouTube was targeting 110%. I don't think that was the case. I think it was, like I said, I think it was the AI that was targeting him. And a part of it, I think, is because of all the age restricted videos and limited videos that he has on the channel already, because that plays a part in it. I mean, if you get so many contacts, so many age restricted channels, I mean, so many age restricted videos on your channel, then they just, they age restrict the whole channel.
Now, was he, when you can submit your rating and say, no, it's fine for monetization, there's nothing bad in this, it meets all the guidelines. Was he constantly putting in the wrong thing where he knew it wasn't going to be approved, but he'd try and get it approved anyway?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's what he did, and that's what he instructed me to do.
Yeah, that will get all your things, because they assume that your ratings are bullshit, so they all go limited right from the get-go.
That's
you
exactly
have to appeal each individual one to try and get them approved.
Yep, every single one of our videos, for the most part, one got through every once in a while, but for the most part, every one of them was limited, demonetized right from the jump street, and we had to, manually, appeal it.
Becca, I don't know if you want to bring up the super chats now, or if you're still away from the keyboard.
No, I'm good. There's quite a bit, so give me just one moment to go back.
Yep.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Never mind. I'll do it afterwards. I thought you were paused for a minute.
Thank you, Art Akudo, for the $2 super chat. Hashtag nope, Jose blows the police. Thank you, Unlocked, for the being a member for 8 months. Hello, my fellow eggplants. Good to see everyone. Hello, Colin.
Hello.
Thank you for G Media for being a member for 5 months. How much trouble is Chili in with YouTube?
Oh, he's completely effed. Completely effed. Like I said, he's gonna lose his channel eventually. It's just a matter of time.
I believe we went over. Did we go over this one? Okay.
Yeah,
thank you, Big Bork, for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Touche, for the 10 gifted members.
And Colin just gave you the reason he thought was worthy for him bailing out on Chili. Chili's going to lose his account eventually. Not that Colin really knows anything, but, Colin's been taking a paycheck and doing the deal, and now he's trying to shop himself out. And he blew his spot up with his current employer. Not a fucking smart move, bro. You get another job and you slide out the door quietly. Give 2 weeks notice if you can. Then you're always welcome to come back. But guys like you, Colin, you burn every fucking bridge. That's why you homeless living in a fucking car.
Memberships, they were assigned to Don Lasseter, Worslet, Jeremy Castillo, Tad Gibson, King of Cool, Mrs. Tom, Uncle Art Castillo did memberships, $2 super chat. Thank you, Touche, for the 10 gifted memberships. They were assigned to Don Lasseter, Worslet, Jeremy Castillo, memberships. They were assigned to Don Lasseter, Worslet, Jeremy Castillo, Tad Gibson, King of Cool, Mrs. Tom, Uncle Artie, Hecklick.
Congratulations, Dearmid. You're today's big winner at codedfriend.001. We're happy to hear that you won a gifted membership from the gay guy who fucking hates your ass. Paid for your fucking membership. Thank you, Too Gay. Dearmid appreciates it.
Jesse Green and Sherry Schaefer. Thank you, Benjamin, for the 1 gifted membership. It was assigned to Pants. Thank you, Big Bork, for the $2 super chat. You too can trigger.
Look, Dermot Costello has won like between Dermot, Holden McGroin, Rebel, Fuck You McAddicts. These guys win Welsh News Network memberships. Like one of them wins almost every fucking month. How could that possibly be if Dan just got 8,000 new subscribers? How could that be? How could that be? Maybe they're all bots that come in with gifted memberships turned off.
A chili meltdown membership gifting. Thank you, Sumi, for being a member for 7 months. Are you and Maria grifting everyone?
Yeah. The trifolds were that's another thing I didn't get to say on Demon's Chat is the trifolds were one of the things that bothered me so much, and there was nothing I could do about it other than just quit. And I wasn't in a place to do it at the time, but
now you are.
The trifolds were a complete scam. I don't know how many. There were so many people that would email me regularly and say they never got their indestructible trifold. They never got it. They would give me order numbers and everything. They never got it. And I'd send it to Chile.
Why would the clips editor be handling that portion of the business? Maybe you're getting yourself involved in shit you shouldn't have been involved in. Maybe your friends were sending you emails claiming they didn't get their trifold, and you were trying to get a little fucking money kickback that you could have got your fucking hands on. Why is the fucking clip editor dealing with fucking merchandise questions? It seems odd in a company that you keep saying Chili has everything compartmentalized in. Your story's got holes, bro. Your story's got holes. All right, we're going to listen to the outro one more time. The end of Colin Quinn, the comedian. This is Colin Scott Campbell. I said Colin Quinn. We're going to listen to the outro one more time. I want to get to the black part, which I neglected the first time through, and then we'll wrap this up for today. That is today's Welsh News Network. If you want to catch the remainder of the interview, which is a virtual bar fest, feel free to head over to the Schnews Network.
Yeah, you're all working for Kate.
But Kate and us have had some pretty
for all the threats he made against me.
So any of the
come on, Hank,
one of the drugstores or any of the other
you
places
can do it,
that has
Hank. Come on.
as seen on TV, you'll see the slap chop available.
Yeah, you just need a charismatic person, and
Dan's fascinated with the fucking slap chop. Just
people who have to pay attention, and that's TikTok. You know,
it's
TikTok
not YouTube.
Made up
It's
the majority
just TikTok.
of the sales.
It's not YouTube,
and that's
Jimbo.
The audience for TikTok.
Jimbo, you guys have fucking.
I thought slap chop was out way before TikTok or any of the other social media.
Oh my god, my fucking browser's got a wicked delay going on. Oh, the dumb guys are all on TikTok, right, Jim? They're not watching your fucking channel. You haven't shown a fucking receipt. You're running illegal lotteries every fucking month, and you've now claimed to have built your fucking listening audience out of fucking 10 grand. It's the people on TikTok that are stupid, Jim. Your audience is fucking stupid, Jim.
I'm saying for the trifold.
Yeah.
So the sales come from TikTok because it's the same type of audience. People who see a charismatic person talking for 30 seconds and then go and put money down.
So now you're saying Chili is charismatic?
I'm wondering how effective an trifold campaign we can get going.
It wouldn't be that good, Hank, because you don't
You'd
have
probably
anyone
make $1 million.
charismatic there.
Well, no, not making any profit off it. Just
Stop chilling.
stopping idiots from buying a trifold that's not going to do them anything but get them in more trouble.
Oh, people never want to listen to good advice, only bad.
Jackie Joe, I emailed him and let him know.
Dan, is that because no one listens to your advice? You're so much smarter than everyone, Dan. The world would be a paradise if you were just the one running it. Got a feeling if you were running the show, Dan, a lot of people would get fucking slaughtered.
And wow, it's on the Walmart website for $32.94.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slap chop.
Uh-huh.
You can get it. You can get it at CVS for 20 something.
And the fucking thing doesn't work. You know.
Sorry, I have to kill that. That browser's running wicked slow. I'm going to pull that back up. I'm going to look one more time for the Blecka closing part, because Blecka does a pretty serious self-reveal, and I want to get that in before we go. So if you'll bear with me for a moment, bring that back up. The Snooze Network live. Wow, today was a 7-hour broadcast today. Only 960 views. And that's counting the couple hundred Danny bought. All right, I'm getting a little better browser response. All right. Right around. He froze again. His battery's dying because he's been stealing internet for the last hour and 40. Yeah, Shuggy, hats off. He got in a fight with his employer. He lost his fucking job. And suddenly that makes him a fucking saint in your eyes when the whole of Welsh News Network couldn't shut up about what a fucking con artist, grifter, junkie motherfucker he was. But one argument with Chili and everything's okay now with you guys? Come on. Is that why you never do it, Dan? What did I just do here? Oh, damn it. Stupid. Sorry about that. I wasn't sharing the fucking video.
There's just not a payout for Chili's in for anything that's been being put out.
It's a fucking business, Hank. When you're running a business, you don't do things that don't pay out.
Although, you know,
what runs businesses out of business.
Chili often does things without payouts.
I am stunned by the amount of money that bloody tribe.
Chili often does things without payouts. Dan, you haven't shown a single fucking receipt that shows you paid any money to any of the fucking charities that you promised you were going to pay out 6 months in a row. Some of those months had 2 named charities. So there's somewhere between 6 and 10 charities that you can't prove you ever gave any fucking money to. Where's the payout, Dan? Show the fucking receipt. You haven't shown any fucking receipts, Dan. None.
False making. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
That blows me away.
I've been saying for quite some time he makes a lot of money. A lot more than people believe.
But I agree with you, Dan, and you always said that, and you were right, but I didn't quite understand the scale of it.
He's just very bad at managing his money.
Fair enough, yeah.
The one bad at managing his money was Colin Scott Campbell.
Went live for a second time last night after we went on, but we weren't coming back.
Oh, I'm looking at this, and I'm kind of like, there's really no way.
Damn it! Did I miss the Bleca part again?
He just emailed.
Oh, maybe.
And his laptop battery died.
That's fine. Please thank him for having joined us.
Will do.
I think I'll need a little bit of help getting the numbers here. Okay, who wants to do this? Who's in the room? Just go. Let me look on the TV.
Yeah, that's the thing, Peter. He's really bad at managing that money. It just all gets pissed away.
Dan, there are so many people right now that are accusing other people of doing the very shit that they do. Who's pissing the fucking money away if you duped your audience out of $10,000 over the last 6 months and you can't show a single fucking receipt that proves that you didn't blow the fucking money and that it made it to a fucking charity? Remember, Dan, you got to rent a fucking Learjet to fly to the U.S. to keep from looking like the fucking liar that you are. You've got to get to the fucking U.S. in a private jet. You've got to sweep Bleca off her feet. You have to take the Simp Squad bag holders on a whirlwind tour all around America to fly and meet all these fucking listeners you promised you were going to fucking meet. It's going to take a lot of money, Dan. You got to get it done. You're a year late in sweeping Bleca off her feet and getting fucking married. Come fucking March 15, you're a year behind. Right now, you what, like 10 months behind? Come on, bro. You conning your fucking listeners and grifting fucking charities and your listeners. You're using the charities to evoke contributions. You have no receipts showing you donated any money to the charities. And you've got all these promises you made with high price tags on them, Dan. You got to get a Learjet, fly to America, sweep Bleca off her feet, get the Simp Squad, fly them around, fly them back to Wales in your private jet. And then you got to measure them all for a fucking suit of armor. And then you got to pay for a wedding. And where the fuck are you going to have the wedding? You live in a fucking government-sponsored council house. Uh-oh, Danny. Can't keep that balloon inflated much longer.
I mean, he was... Okay, Dan, you say that, but he was still supporting 2 people on the income from just the trifles. Incredible.
Yeah, Dan, you dumb fuck. Chili was giving money out. You hear what Shuggy's saying, Dan? Chili was smart enough to make enough money to pay 2 people. How come nobody there's getting a fucking paycheck, Dan? You just built the audience out of fucking 10K in 6 months. Where's Shuggy's cut of the fucking money? Shuggy might be a bag holder too.
Well, not just the trifle. There was the other income as well. But the bulk of it was the trifold, yes.
Shuggy, get a sheet of fucking paper, fold it 3 folds, trifold it, write shit on it, sell it. It's a better plan than what fucking Dan has.
Yeah, but he's supporting 2 people, one of whom was homeless.
Yeah, true.
Jim Finch is homeless. He lives with his mom. He doesn't have his own home.
And
both were homeless.
I'm not sure. I think Colin does have a trailer, but it's just not in the best of conditions.
And as far as sales go, Shuggy, remember, a lot of people bought the slap chop even though it was the worst product in history.
Oh dear God! Please,
That
can we
thing
not
is
mention that
still.
product?
Yeah,
That
it's
son of a
still
bitch is
fucking
still making money.
Chuck
Yeah.
shit
What?
again.
Old. So that
you made
fucking
old person.
can get
Just,
Joe, I emailed him and let him.
just want to hear Blackest confession.
Oh, people never want to listen to good advice, only bad.
Jackie Joe, I emailed him and let him know.
And wow, it's on the Walmart website for $32.94.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slap chop.
Uh-huh.
You can get it. You can get it at CVS for.
Buy it. It
Onions.
Hank and Jim strike me as more shake weighty guys. Fucking wankers.
Yeah, it'll up pretty nice.
This answers.
I think his heart was in. It got stuck.
Listen to him make excuses.
I think his heart was in the right place. He just believed the wrong person.
His heart was in the right place. He's a grifter that flip-flopped from busting Chili's balls to helping Chili, and now he's busting Chili's balls again. What the fuck do you mean his heart was in the right place, Hank? He's a junky fucking con man. You're putting him on a fucking pedestal. Give him a job, Dan. He'll fuck you over too.
Got stuck.
He's going. Go ahead.
And the last 24 hours have been a knee-jerk reaction to the situation as he gets his thoughts and his proofs and his, what next in order. A lot more is going to come out. Like that video he couldn't find.
Listen to Shuggy trying to help pimp out fucking Colin Scott Campbell. When he gets his thoughts in order, there'll be much more to come out. What are you guys going to write fucking scripts for him? Shug, you dishonest little fuck.
I think once he gets, he actually has time to process this. A lot more might come out.
I can only judge from listening to Chili's version last night and now Colin's version tonight. Which one? My gut tells me is more plausible and believable. All the way, Colin.
But Hank, you say
all of a sudden Colin's trustworthy, huh, Hank? Hank, eat the rest of the Cheerios out of your beard and keep your fucking mouth shut.
That last night when you had competing views from both Chili on one video and then Colin on the next. You said that last night too.
And I still there.
Mm-hmm. But I wonder why he chose Irish Demon and us.
I think Kevin.
The question is, why did Colin only appear with Irish Demon and Welsh News Network? Why isn't everybody else picking it up? Because the Tina Slay phenomenon already happened. All those people got lied to. So Tina Slay was over at Fraud of the Rams broadcast yesterday, day before yesterday, spouting the same fucking lies she always spouts. Her innocent son and Fraud of the Rams, not looking into the story, buying right into that bullshit. They already covered for a fucking woman who won't admit that her son, despite a coroner's report that says her son was not only high on methamphetamine, but the range, the amount of methamphetamine present in his system matches the range where people tend to act fucking violently and aggressively. Tina Slay's son was armed with a handgun, instructed by 2 DEA agents to sit in the car and just fucking hang tight. They didn't want to talk to Tina's son. Tina's son got out of the car with the gun on him. He wasn't even smart enough to put the gun in the fucking glove box and lock it out. He got out of the car, armed, started walking toward the house. The second DEA agent asked him where he was going. His response was, "I'm going in my fucking house." Now you're aggravating in tone. You're escalating. You refuse to follow a simple instruction. Sit in the fucking car. Now you're getting out. You're walking toward the house. You're cursing at the DEA agent. Escalating. You're escalating. You're high on meth and you're escalating. The DEA agent calls you back. He asks you if you're armed. Do you say yeah? When the DEA agent goes to take you by the wrist, you pull away. You get into a physical altercation with two DEA agents. Bang, bang. You're no more Caleb. High on meth. High on meth. Tina Slay won't admit it. Her son was high on meth, and he had mommy's anti-authority, sob-sit attitude toward the police. Caleb Slay was going to go back to college at 25 years old and get a criminal justice degree. So Caleb Slay could clean up the police department. Then now that's a meth head fucking pipe dream. You a meth head smoking motherfucker, and you think you're the guy that's going to clean up the fucking police department? Coroner's report. Methamphetamine. Not even what did the coroner's report state that there was methamphetamine in the system, but it gave the parts per million measure of the amount of meth in the system. Shuggy trying to set up fucking Colin Scott Campbell like he's the next Tina Slay to lie his way through dishing the dirt about fucking Chile, because nothing Tina Slay said about Chile was reliable. That's why no one wants to touch the 2023 version of Tina Slay except two fucking idiots. Two fucking idiots who are not U.S. citizens and should involve themselves in their own country's fucking affairs and stop grifting Americans out of fucking money. And Dan, quit trying to chill the fucking First Amendment free speech rights of American citizens. You king bootlicking. You king bootlicking. You licked the boot of Charles III, the twinkiest king ever to sit on the fucking throne. You licking a twink's boots, Dan. You have no business being involved, poking your fucking nose in American affairs. Stop trying to chill the First Amendment rights of American citizens, you water-headed Welshman.
Nice is right. He made a lot of choices based on the need for money.
Yeah, he's not out of the woods yet. You know, he's facing homelessness tomorrow if he doesn't get some money.
Given what he did to both delete laws and clips, the way he built those channels up, if people are looking for editors and backroom teams, he must be on their list. I mean, he did amazing work with those two channels, really.
To turn Chile almost watchable?
Yeah.
That itself is a miracle.
Just like what he could do with something that more people could get behind.
Yeah.
Why don't you get something, Hank, that someone can get behind? Because you ain't got nothing except a brain that don't fire right after you put fucking 3 Stroh's lights down your fucking throat.
Software. I want you to use this software. Yeah, but
and the software.
It's his fucking company, dipshit.
Creator that both hands like hampered. So one result.
Where is dumbass Blacka talking?
Logical.
Here we go.
You also have to. I had something to say.
Incredible.
All right, let's listen to Blacka here. Listen close.
I had something to say.
Blacka's got something to say.
You also have to understand the psychological aspect of it all. Chile got him out of a bad situation. He felt that he had to do what Chili did because of his thankfulness for what Chili did for him. So he took the abuse, he took the yelling. A lot of people do it even if they don't agree with the person that helped them.
Oh my God, Bleck is speaking from experience. Did you hear what she just said about Dan? Blecka is speaking from experience. Now listen to the victim mentality and the hostage mentality that Blecka is going to express here. Blecka is confessing why she is subservient to Dan, which also is the reason why she's been thrown back that fireball, having to crush up them anxiety pills. It's all the fucking yelling and screaming, Dan.
Yeah.
I had something to say. You also have to understand the psychological aspect of it all. Chili got him out of a bad situation. He felt that he had to do what Chili did because of his thankfulness for what Chili did for him. So he took the abuse, he took the yelling. A lot of people do it even if they don't agree with the person that helped them. They did it because they felt they had to.
Yeah.
And people, if you've never been in that situation before, it's very hard to understand.
Well, tell us all about it, Blacka, because it's obvious you're going through it on a regular basis with DilDan. Maybe he's just angry, Blacka, because his little soldier, when they play Reveille, his little soldier just lays there, all limp. You're describing Dan, Blacka. I called it fucking months ago. I called it back in end of March, April. It's so obvious, Blecka, that you're in an abusive relationship. Hence the fucking chronic fireball drinking, the fucking overtaking of anxiety medication, the absence from broadcasts, and the trembliness of your voice, Blecka. Blecka. You don't have to put up with Dan's fucking shit.
I think you're right. And what was very clear tonight was that Colin is loyal.
Yeah.
Loyal to what? It's his third fucking flip-flop, Shuggy. It's his third fucking flip-flop. What do you, Shug, are you afraid of getting yelled at by Dan too? Because like Blecka says, Blecka understands it. Blecka understands it because Blecka's going through it. Like Blecka said, you got to go through it to understand it. Blecka's going through it.
With the person that helped them. They did it because they felt they had to.
Yeah.
And people, if you've never been in that situation before, it's very hard to understand.
But Blecka understands it because Blecka's going through it. Dan, Blecka doesn't want to be under video surveillance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Blecka wants to bang the plumber if he comes back for a second day. You're in fucking Wales. You're never coming here. Quit fucking around with the lives and the freedoms of American citizens, Dan. You fucking toothless, limp-dicked fuck. As always, at codedfriend.001, we're happy to have you here. We thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. If we have time early in the day tomorrow, we will do another broadcast. Right now, we're going to leave you out. We brought you in with Lonnie Mack, Cincinnati Jail. We're going to leave you out with another tune by Lonnie Mack, something slightly more pleasing. A little song about Oreo cookies. Catch you tomorrow, kids.
chocolate on my fingers, icing on my lips, sugar, diabetes, and blubber on my hips. I keep the nightlight burning in the kitchen, babe, so I can go downstairs and cruise. I got them Oreo cream sandwich, chocolate covered cream filled cookie blue. I hide them in the cabinet, I keep them in a jar. For emergencies, you know I keep them in the glove compartment of my car, and I can't live without them. They get me high and I can get on booze. I got them Oreo cream sandwiches, chocolate covered cream filled cookie blue. Play it one time, Steve. Doctor says I'm crazy. You better give him up and quick. You be pushing up daisies because, boy, you definitely sick. You know, but I couldn't quit if I wanted to. Yeah, I don't want to lose. Now watch it. Chocolate covered cream filled cookie. Bill by Nabisco ain't no rookie. Next best thing to nookie blue.
Logan Sandman doesn't know who fucking Lonnie Mack is? What the fuck? He's a white boy, you know. Just so you know, he's a fucking white boy. It's amazing. You're gonna, dude, add him to your catalog. You're gonna hear crazy good shit that you like. You never really heard Lonnie Mack shit on the radio. My turn on to Lonnie Mack was actually Stevie Ray Vaughan. It was the song that just played. Stevie Ray Vaughan played on that tune with Lonnie Mack. That's how I got turned on to Lonnie Mack early on in SRV's career. Stevie Ray, hell of a fucking player, man. We need to play some Stevie Ray too. Thank you everybody for being here. Misty-eyed girl. I was just teasing you. You don't have to be self-conscious. I'm good like that. Have a great day, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow. Later.